you know, sometimes people will look at just for kicks and look at what we've built, but it's because we work non-stop.
You can be anything you want. You can be everything you choose. Do not let it slip away. 'Cause if you never try it, you never know.
One is endurance, one is strength, one is flexibility, and the last one is technique. And it's all the same stuff in jazz. Because if you are not strong, you can't bring your kick up. If you are not strong, you can't sustain a turn because you start wobbling. So your core strength is one of the biggest things you got to build, you guys. Can you do that in an hour class a week? No, you got to do it at home, people. Okay, and most people are either strong or they are flexible. Everybody who thinks they're a flexible person rather than a strong person, raise your hand. Okay, and who thinks they're not flexible but strong? We're all different. And so if you are a flexible person, you have to double up on strength training. If you're a real strong person and you don't have any flexibility, you have to double up on your stretching. Okay, so you can get flexible. I think I've only seen a couple kids in my life
that have worked really hard at it and can't do it.
that have worked their butt off and have not been able to get their splits. You know, do you have your splits? Okay, so do your splits a second. Right or left? Right, that'd be great. So if you can sit in your splits like this, bow all the way down to your nose, and your nose hits right here. Very nice, let's give her a cheer. If you can do that, if you can bow into your splits with your nose there, you can do a high kick. But if you try to do a high kick and you can do that, but you can't do a high kick, then it's strength.
Or endurance.
Or endurance, yep. There were a lot of teams, I sit and watch the whole showcase last night, and there's a lot of teams that start the first half of the routine beautiful. They're just like, you're like, oh my gosh, they're so good, but they can't sustain it the whole time. That's endurance. My team's been there. We have been there, you know, where you can see it on film where we get rocky by the end. So how do you think you get great endurance? Shout out some things you could do.
Being full out every time you do your dance.
Okay, so why go to practice and go, I'm not gonna work that hard today? You know, it'd be kind of like going to workout, like if you went to a workout club and you went there to just goof off, that you wouldn't get very fit. And it's the same thing in dance. So if you do it full out every time at class, and I will say our kids do.
Most of them.
Most, not all of them, we have those kids, but we kind of are
Most of them do it.
Most of our kids work out hard every time. We bring them along kicking and screaming if they are lazy, you know, because that's going to get you better, you know. So be the hardest worker in your class. I always say to other teams that I work with is somebody might come up with better choreography. They might have more natural talent. They might do this and that, but nobody can work harder than we can because we're in control of that, right? So think about that with yourself. You know, sometimes people will look at just for kicks and look at what we've built, but it's because we work non-stop. It's hard work. It's not like, ooh, let's sit down and magic things happen. No, it's hard work. So with whatever you do, okay? So analyze that thing with yourself. Do the splits and see if you can't do that. But then, can you explain the kicking from here?
Oh, lifting, yeah. So when you're kicking, you guys, and does anybody get hip pain ever? Like when you're kicking, your hips are hurting? So
this is a big thing to listen about because you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, you don't want to get hurt. And so, I mean, obviously kicking is going to wear on your hips a little bit, right? But we want to try to use the correct muscles so that we don't injure ourselves, yeah? So when you're kicking, automatically your hip flexor is going to trigger because you're lifting your leg. That's going to happen. But when you're kicking, you need to focus on lifting your kicks from here, like your lower abs, and from your booty, yeah? And
not
from
your
here.
Hamstring,
so that when you're sending that leg up, that you're just shooting it forward, yeah, as you're doing it, and lifting from this part of your leg and not getting into your quad and your hip flexor.
Because if you start hurting here, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, you need to feel it in your butt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And same thing like with hinges. A lot of that is booty strength when we're doing our hinge kicks or Frenches or whatever you guys call them. Yeah, so you want to really get stronger there. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in that way, like even laying on your back and your feet flat, and you do like lifting your hips, bridges, and really focusing on engaging your glutes and not your hamstrings, but getting our glutes stronger is going to make you a better kicker and a better jumper and leaper and turner. So you want to get those strong too.